We're back on 1340 WJRW, and Dr. Carl Wierks, is that how I say your last name? Am I close?
Yeah, Wierks.
Wierks is in our studio. Last time we talked to Carl, it was over at the UICA during Art Prize, and that was fun. But Dr. Wierks is a US Snowboard team physician. We told a few tales about that last time, and working with the Flying Tomato and all that. And he's also a West Michigan Orthopaedics partner, and with what we think is Winter Part 2 coming, Dr. Wierks, it might be time for a bit of a tune-up when it comes to the slopes, skiing and snowboarding. So let's talk a little bit about that while we've got some time. First of all, what are the general rules in terms of gearing up for the snow season?
Right, like myself, like many others around here, get excited about snow, and
we're here, might as well snow.
We want it to be. I want it to snow. The ski resorts locally are still open, but I still get excited when we get snow. I love getting out there. I take my kids out there, but you want to be safe. You can't have a good time if you're having an injury, and you want to be safe and warm. And I think the keys with that is number one, having the proper gear, and then being layered up so that you don't get too cold or too sweaty out there. Okay,
so some common sense. Also, getting into shape. Can you go in cold without stretching or thinking about this for I'm good. I snowboarded last year.
Right. Yeah, this is akin to the weekend warriors once it starts warming up, but you don't want to do that with skiing or snowboarding either. You want to make sure your body's ready because you're particularly prone to injury towards the end of the day when you're getting fatigued. So in particular, you want to make sure that your core muscles are strong. So doing some things like wall sits or planks to get those muscles strong going into a day or weekend of skiing or snowboarding.
Okay. What about some of the basics when it comes to equipment?
Right. I grew up skiing. I snowboard now, so I know a little bit of both about each. If you're a skier, one of the things that's easy to overlook is the setting on your bindings, and you really don't want your bindings to be too loose or too tight because you could easily break your ankle if you're popping out.
Right.
When you don't want to pop out, or if you take a fall and your bindings don't release, then you could break an ankle that way. And a good rule of thumb is if you're more of a beginner skier, you want that DIN number or that number on your binding to be lower. If you're more advanced skier and you're going to be either doing jumps or doing more like bumps or moguls, you want that number to be higher so that it keeps your boot in that binding under higher amounts of load.
And who would it be best if you're not an expert? Would you talk to someone at the ski resort to help you with that, to fine-tune it?
Yeah, certainly. I think any of the techs at the ski resort or one of the local ski shops could be helpful. The binding adjustment itself is usually easy, can be done with a blade-type screwdriver.
Okay. What about you talk about clothing and layering and so on? And technology is always changing with clothing is high tech now.
Yeah, I mean the clothing we have now is amazing. Most of the outer shells that you're going to get are waterproof, and that's really key. So you want some waterproof layer on your jacket, on your snow pants, but then also getting if you can get a base layer that's a breathable water wicking base layer, that's going to be helpful. Just so if you do start to perspire, that moisture isn't trapped against your skin all day. And then the final point on that is just making sure you have layers, so if you do start to warm up, you can shed a layer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about helmets? Is everybody wearing a helmet these days?
I think everybody should. I think it's kind of foolish not to wear a helmet. Particularly, I like to go ski and snowboard out west, and almost everybody wears a helmet out there. And I think that should be the same here locally, particularly if you're a parent, you're going with your kids.
Yeah.
We know the adolescent and child brain is much more susceptible to brain injury and concussion than even the adult brain, and that can have lifelong implications. So get your kids in particular a helmet, get yourself a helmet. You're going to fall. It's just a matter of time. So you want to protect yourself.
Okay, very good. What about sizing your equipment, your skis and your snowboard?
Yeah. For a snowboard, you want to stand up, have the snowboard standing up. It should be between your nose and your chin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Skis?
Skis are a little bit longer, so the skis should be about your own height, so maybe towards the top of your head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that change with skill level? I mean, if you're a better skier, maybe the feet a little bit longer, or?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, the ski models and shape have changed over time, too. So the newer skis, you're going to get a little bit wider and more of that parabolic or curved shape to them. And with that parabolic or curved shape, they actually shorten them up a little bit because it's easier to turn. The curves in the ski themselves make them easier to turn. So the longer skis are more difficult to control, and so if you're more on that beginner level skier, you want to cheat towards a shorter ski.
Okay. Hydrating is big.
Yeah.
And people forget about it.
Yeah, it's easy to forget about. You're out there, you're having a good time, but you want to make sure you're drinking fluid the night before. Have a glass of water before you leave, particularly if you've been, having some alcohol the night before. You want to make sure that's not dehydrating you too much, or coffee can dehydrate you too. So get fluid in your system. You want to have fun out there, and drink throughout the day too, even if it means bringing a little cup of water with you, or a
water bottle.
Water bottle, yeah,
Sure.
just throw one in your coat.
All right, and then finally, and this is one that might be tougher, or especially at the end of the day if you've had a long day.
Yeah.
Know your limits.
Yeah, absolutely. For me personally, sometimes I'm tempted by the terrain parks, and I'll venture over there a little bit. But I think everybody has that thought in their back of their head where they can know that they're probably not capable of doing something but want to try it, and just know your limits, know if you're getting tired, and be smart. You don't want to cause an injury to yourself or somebody else on the hill.
Okay, very good. If people have questions about this, or maybe they want to find out about what's going on at West Michigan Orthopaedics, what would you tell them?
WMortho.net is our website, and we have patient education on there. Or you can give our office a call. We have amazing staff who are very, very knowledgeable too, and they can either get you in the door or maybe able to answer some questions over the phone.
All right, very cool. What's happening with the US Snowboarding team?
Well, I'm excited. I'm going out with the team the second week of March this year, so it's an international venue. It's one of their World Championship venues, so it's actually their last official competition of the year. But I'll be out in Spain with the team for a week.
Spain.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So that's a place I've never been. I've always wanted to be there, so it's especially sweet to be able to go with the snowboard team, be a part of them, and just help them excel and stay healthy while they're over there. And, hopefully we'll get on the podium.
All right, very cool. Thank you so much, Doctor.
All right, thank you.
We appreciate it. This is News Talk 1340 WJRW. Quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment.